Hello everybody, it's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope that you're getting your year up to a great start. Look, I'm on my way to the gym. It's been a long day, a lot going on. I need to get to the gym. But on the way to the gym, I wanted to have a heart-to-heart with people I think that are passionate about the same thing I'm passionate about, and I kind of want to lay some things out. Obviously, everybody knows that we have been pushing a fundraiser. My goal for today's fundraiser was $1,000. The month's fundraiser goal is $15,000. I'm not going to get into a whole lot about the numbers, but all of the programs we offer, if you followed me for any stretch of imagination, you know we've been heavily invested in the Black community, heavily invested in research, heavily invested in providing solutions for several decades, literally. Officially 2 decades, but several decades that I did it kind of loosely, just me and putting it out there. Then I organized and literally converted my entertainment company into what is now the Odyssey Project. And I've been going ever since. I'm from the South, so I don't say ever since, I say ever since. But anyway, so you know that we've been pushing the fundraiser, and in the 20 years of official business, we haven't even raised $20,000, and it is what it is. I'm not here to rant about what hasn't happened. I'm here to talk about what I believe in and what I think needs to happen. The alternative life for me is not a bad life. Matter of fact, by the average person's standards, my alternative life is spectacular, because in my alternative life, I care about fewer people. It's me and my family, and it's getting the bag. It's getting paper, and I'm skilled and I'm gifted in enough ways to get it and to use it and to multiply it and do all the things that I do to a certain extent, but give so much of me in time, energy, effort, and money to what I love and what I'm passionate about. So my alternative life is one thing, and there are those moments where I get in my feelings and I'm like, man, you know, I'm just gonna drop this, but it's not me. And so I've told myself to just even stop talking like that, because the truth of the matter is I love my people too much to be run off by frustration, to be run off by difficult. I put too much time, and at a certain point you get past the point of no return, where you look up and say, I don't put too much into this, I don't put too much shit into this to sit up and drop it now. It makes absolutely no sense, because if I've gone this far, there's something in it. It's something in it beyond what I can see on the surface, and I know a lot of it, because that's what drives me, the belief, the passion, the love, and all that. But it's something deeper. It's something deeper. It's a legacy. It's a path. It's a seed planted. It's so much beyond, okay, everybody's on board, everybody's supporting me, we've got yeah, that would be nice, but historically speaking, how has that looked? Historically speaking, when does that happen? When does grassroots organizations truly get full support from the people they're trying to reach out to, from the collective? Historically speaking, we don't do well in that category. So if I'm going to be honest with myself, as a person who uses scientific method to discover and uncover truths and resolve issues and create solutions and all that stuff, then I have to understand that wishing and hoping my people do something different than we've always done is, in one instance, a great way to, set my energy, but in another way, being realistic. Hey, here's where we are. So, that's that. But here's what I see in the future. I'm believing in my people. I'm believing that at some point in time. And I know every time I talk about this, there are people who pop up and say, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. See, I'm not a fatalist, though. Whether it's business, whether it's my finances, whether it's relation, I'm not a fatalist. I'm not the person that ever says it's too late. If I'm still breathing, I'm still in the fight. If I'm still alive, there's a chance that something can be done to change any situation. I will never sit up and take a fatalist approach, because at that moment that I take that approach, I'm done. At the moment I decide, no matter what I do, it's no win, I've already lost. And see, so I'm not built that way. There's no way I could ever take that approach to say, well, it's nothing. Now, can I say it's becoming increasingly difficult? The longer we go without addressing the issues that need to be addressed, it becomes increasingly difficult to achieve certain things? Absolutely. We're digging a hole day by day by not coming together, by not growing, by not unifying, by not building, by not having a collective agenda, by not having a specific strategy for everything. And they're out there. I created the whole entire blueprint for Black empowerment. It's on the site. Some of the people that I have the utmost respect for, starting with Dr. Claude Anderson and his wife Joanne. I had them review it when I first put it up, and they gave it rave reviews, and I've had others look at it. And so it'll work. Is it perfect? Hell no, I'm not perfect. Does it need adjusting? Does it need stronger eyes and more creativity and imagination and, more wisdom and all those things? That's what we're supposed to be doing. I'm not God sent to be a Messiah. I don't have a God complex. I'm gifted in certain areas. I'm also very well trained in others. And I use that for the benefit of my people, unlike a lot of people who will use that to advance themselves on top of their people. Now, I have no problem using my skill set to advance myself, to make sure that I'm earning money, to keep food on the table and do all that stuff that we try to do every day. I have no problem with that, but I'm not going to do it on the back of my people. I'm not going to step on my people, mishandle my people, misguide my people, and get handsomely rewarded for it. There are people who do that. I'm not even getting into it. I could just go off and start naming some, but I'm not going to do that, because this is about me talking to people I love and people I believe have the same passion as I do. This is talking about doing something different this year. This is about sitting up and saying, instead of waiting on everybody else to catch on, I want to be one of the people who sits up and becomes a catalyst. I want to be someone who's on the right side of this thing in history down the line. I don't want it to be said, hey, I sat on the sidelines and I observed the destruction of my people when I had something that I could have done about it. And yes, this is about funding programs. Absolutely is about funding programs, but it's so much more, because I believe every person is gifted. My entire concept and philosophy in my business, the Visionetics Institute, which is called Visionetics, is behind the gifting of every individual. There's so many things covering that gifting that most people aren't aware of it. We don't attend schools that look to service our gifting. Again, that's where our children are really suffering. We aren't sending our kids to schools that are looking to identify their gifting and prepare them to effectively create their own path and way in life. They are training them to be hired by the wealthy, exploited and used by the wealthy, and paid just enough for them not to complain, based off of a social idea of what's acceptable. That's our fault. That's our fault that we have not holistically educated our youth. It's our fault that we haven't prepared them to exploit their gifts in a way that brings them the power they need to live the lives they want to live at the level they want to live it at. It's on us, because it's our responsibility to ensure that they are prepared and empowered. It's our responsibility to make sure that we understand that, based on the machinations and in all types of nefarious schemes. We have 1.5 million black men missing, 1.2 plus in prison, others addicted, others checked out, and that gap has created a void that leaves a lot to be desired in the way of the modeling of real true black manhood. And where there's no modeling of manhood, it's hard to effectively and properly socialize young black males into manhood. And so then there is hyperviolence, there is destructive behavior, there is high criminality rates, high incarceration rates. All of this stuff is a direct result of us not addressing an issue that is paramount if we're ever going to really truly achieve this level of empowerment that we consistently speak of. It's easy to sit up and, wait for the next person. We do it all the time. So hope somebody gives. I hope somebody does. I hope somebody does this. I hope somebody does that. 35 years ago, I made up in my mind that I wasn't going to be on the sideline, that I wasn't going to be one of those people that sat around and said somebody else will do it. So I've done it so many different times. Many times it strained me, it took me. And just recently, I put it out there that I had to, this week, clear my calendar of all my clients, my paying clients that pay me to help them, whether it's on the therapy side or on the life strategy and coaching side. I had to put it down because I was just overwhelmed. I was really at a point where I needed to step away. I was looking at it. But the thing is, the one thing I know is I can't quit. So I needed to refuel. I need to regather myself. And so I took a mental health break. And in doing that, it really got me to thinking. When I looked at my calendar and I cleared it, the weirdest thing happened. I had never saw it like that before. Not in recent memory can I look at and say, man, there's nothing on this calendar. I mean, even weeks I was on vacation, there was always something on the calendar, something I had to do before I left, something I had to do when I got back. It was always something. And here I was, and I was looking at it, I'm going like, wow, I still have stuff I'm doing. Obviously, I'm talking to you, but that pressure of being on my A game, smiling on cue and having all the answers for the people that sit in front of me, that was gone for a week. I can be human. And I shared this, and it was a tender moment for me because it hit so hard. I went back and rewatched something somebody sent to me a couple of years ago when we were talking about doing a program on mental health with black men. And it was David Mann, Mr. Brown, talking about he had been, and this was in 2020, I want to say 2020, 2021, and talking about he had been suffering with depression for 20 years. I mean, not 20 years, 2 years. He had been suffering for 2 years. And he was in this place of darkness, and he was working his way. And he had finally went to a therapist. He was not finally getting help. But when he was asked to explain it, he said something that hit home so hard, it literally knocked me off my feet. I had to really sit down, and the tears just began to flow. He said, I felt like I was drowning, and nobody could see me. It was like I was invisible. I was drowning and nobody could see me. And I felt like the only way people would see me and know was after I had completely drowned. It hit like a ton of bricks because everybody expects you to just be that person. Everybody expects you to keep everybody going. Everybody expects you to keep everybody laughing. Everybody expects you to have all the answers. Everybody expects you to be able to pull rabbits out the hat. Everybody expects you to never, ever be in need of help. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at that and I'm going, wow. So I stepped back and I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to take a week off. But what it did is it gave me clarity on this thing that I have. You know, you ask yourself, what am I going to do? How am I going to approach it from now? How do I How do I care for me and still care for the things that I'm passionate about? And see, the easy answer is just slow down, Doc, and go sit down. And the people who tell you that can't understand the passion that drives you. They can't. And see, here's the thing. And I want you to try to understand this. And then I'm going to get out of here and get in this gym before it gets crowded. Try to understand this. Yes, I need to rest. Yes, I can't do it all. Yes, I get all that. But here's the thing. When there's so few people doing it, and we know this because we don't have the productivity we need, when there's so few people doing this, for every day I take off, there are hundreds that are going to lose because of it. That's a burden to carry. That's worse than getting out there and just grinding it out, knowing while you're sitting there, something's not happening. And the thing is, you can leverage that. You can double down that. You can double that down. You can bring in help. You can hedge with more assistance. You can train more people, but that costs. Man, I'm 55. At some point, I've got to train people and pass this down. Train what I know to people. Teach what I know to people. Bring in some younger researchers who have a sense and idea and understanding of the things I know about African-American psychology, epigenetics, generational trauma, all these different things that need to be understood and then used to help our people and empower our people. Studying finance, with my last book, the one on Black wealth, breaking the code of generational wealth, researching that, understanding it. There's a science to this. We can win it. There's a way to do it, even with racism out there. There's a way to do it. I did the work. It's in the book. But one day I won't be here. And I don't want it to just stop. And then somebody else out there somewhere that's out there gets excited about doing the work, but doesn't have the connectivity to me and has to go through the whole process of learning all this stuff. When somebody could come in and work under me, multiple people I prefer, work under me, get trained, have their own way of thinking, have their own ideas, but take the work that I've created and expand it and grow it and make it bigger, make it stronger, and be the next Bunyan, the next light. That we've got to be able to think like that. We are sitting around in little bitty corners doing stuff, and the people who know what we're doing are like, man, you're great, you're awesome, you're great, you're awesome. But there's so much more out there that's not being touched simply because we won't come together. So I'm challenging you. Come together, join forces with me. I believe you're passionate about the same thing I'm passionate about. I think you have the same desires I have to empower our people, but it can't happen from a place of casual engagement. It can't happen from a place of external observation and sitting on the sideline, peering in, saying, oh my God, shaking my head, that's horrible, doesn't change things. You got to get in, you got to root it out, you got to be engaged, you got to be invested, you got to have systematic operations and movements that work. I've proven that the things that I've developed work. I just want it to work for more people. So once again, here I am, I'm saying, hey, we need your support. Let's start just by hitting the goal for the day. The goal for the day is $1,000. One person, I don't have the name, but they donated $20. So we have $20 today. And I'm gonna call numbers out. I'm not gonna be ashamed. My people are like, dude, get off your pride horse. You need to really go after this. You really need to talk about it because it's important enough. It's bigger than your ego. It's bigger than you. And so that's what I'm being told unapologetically now. This is not the time for pride. This is not the time for worrying about what people think. Yes, you can do a whole lot by yourself. You've proved that for years, but you're killing yourself doing it, and you're limited. So you need to get out there and connect. You need to find people who will get behind you. You need to find people who ain't gonna sit up and say, well, what, have you gone over there? It's so easy to people to point you somewhere instead of saying, this is what I have. Even if it's $1. Everybody's asking you, have you did What, you do something. It's that simple. When I pass by somebody and I'm looking at them, and I bless somebody every day, probably more than one person a day. I pass by and I'm gonna bless them. You know, I'm not telling you what I bless them with and all that, but I bless them. And I bless them with more than what I'm just putting in their hand. I bless them with a word. I bless them with acknowledgement. More important, I bless them with eye-to-eye contact. I see you as an equal. You're just in a bad place right now. I don't think I'm better than you. So how are you doing? You okay? Take care of yourself. You just don't know how it is to be in situations like that and feel invisible. So, on that note, look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. The way to give is gonna be in the description box. This is not gonna have all the normal promo stuff on it. This is gonna be a straight video that I'm gonna upload. And so this is all you're gonna see. So you're not gonna see the other promos about the fundraiser. I'm telling you, it's a fundraiser. The information is in the description box. If you follow me long enough, you know enough about me. I'm saying with nearly 8,000 people, should be more people than that, but I'm not a sensationalist. I don't amp stuff up. I'm not celebrity gossiping and a bunch of other stuff, and I'm cool with that. But with 8,000 people, we should be able to raise $1,000. If you need to share with other people, we need to learn how to be energetic about things that are benefiting our people. And that's my soapbox lecture for today. That's my conversation with you today. That's my face-to-face with you today. This is just us. This won't be shared on any other platform. This is only for the people who are going to come here and get it. The other stuff I'll share. You know, I'll take it off the channel and share it. This is me and you having this conversation right now. The Black Voice channel. Let's make something special happen on this channel. Let's make something extraordinary happen on this channel. Let's make it be what it can be. I'm one person. I don't have all the answers. Maybe you do. Let's make something happen. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day.